Greetings, I'm Simone with Amazon Web Services. Turbocharge your apps with Amazon Elasticache. What is the problem that we're trying to solve today? My web applications need to run faster. This usually means that my database needs some help. A good way to solve this is by implementing a memory caching system. And many companies around the world, such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Wikipedia, and many others, are doing so. So let me show you how it works. This is the life of a web application. You have browsers or mobile phones on the left, web servers, and database servers. And on step 1, the customers will hit your web application residing on your web server. Then the web app will query the database, which will crunch its data and then return the result to the web server. And then the web app will serve the page back to the customer. And this is, of course, all fine. But then traffic can ramp up. And when it does, it happens that you will need to scale your web servers and database servers to cope with increasing requests and demand. But at a certain point, you will hit a wall. For example, databases are very difficult to scale beyond a certain point. So you will ask yourself, how can I improve performance? And if you take a look at the queries that go to the databases, some of these queries are repetitive queries. And if you implement a memory caching system, you can essentially redirect these queries to a cache system. Cache machines will answer much faster, and the databases will be able to answer queries much faster as well. So your overall architecture will be much better. So what is memory caching then? It's basically about installing a component that stores data, and then every request for that data can be served much faster. Let me give you an example. If you want to query the phone number of Mr. X, the first time you do it, you try to query from cache, but miss. You don't find the data. So you query from the database, and then you also copy the result to your cache system. The second time onwards, every time you query the same data from your cache, you will hit the data. And the cache system will be able to answer your query much faster than the database. So how can I implement this? In the traditional world, you can do so by installing memcached, which is an open source, high performance, in-memory key value store, ideal for small chunks of arbitrary data. And then you will need to configure it, run it, manage it, update it, etc. In the cloud computing world, you can run memcached on Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 is a web service that provides virtual servers on demand. You can run it, of course, on multiple nodes if you need bigger amounts of RAM. And of course, you still need to manage these machines by yourself. But now there is an even better way to have a caching mechanism in the cloud. It's called Amazon Elasticache. Let me tell you a bit more about it. It's an easy to set up, manage, and scale cache clusters. The way you pay for it is pay as you go. So you pay only for what you use. And it's compatible with the memcached protocol. It means that it's very easy to migrate from an existing memcached system to Amazon Elasticache. Each cluster or cache cluster has one or more cache nodes, and this allows you to scale out the capacity that you want. And if you are implementing this cache mechanism from scratch, it's of course very easy to launch Amazon Elasticache, but your applications, you need to check that they are able to take advantage of this cache system before being able to use it. So let me show you a demo now. I will launch 1 terabyte of cache on Amazon Elasticache, and I will do this in just 2 minutes. This is the management console for Amazon Web Services. I want to change the default security group for my Elasticache, and I want to enable my web servers to be able to connect. Status is authorizing and now authorized. It means that I can just launch my cache cluster now. I can give it a name, cache cluster 1. I can pick the biggest node type, which has 68 gigabytes of RAM, and I want to launch 16 of them. I don't need any additional configuration. The default is enough for me. And once I'm satisfied with the configuration, I can launch it. The cluster will be creating, and after a few minutes, this cluster will be up and running or available. If you click on the cluster name, you can see the description of this cluster as well as the multiple nodes running on this cluster. And of course, you can get access to the CloudWatch metrics about every machine in the cluster. You can also copy the node endpoint in order to allow your applications to use it. And of course, you can also take a look at the parameter for this cache cluster. Here they are. And of course, you can also take a look at the cache events. In this case, the cache nodes that we just added. You can, of course, modify, reboot, or when you're finished, delete this cache cluster. So it's pretty easy to do it. And as I told you, just a couple of minutes to do it. So this is the end of demo. More details, of course, on aws.amazon.com/Elasticache. And these are my contact details. Thank you very much for your attention. And of course, remember to share with your friends if you liked this presentation. Thank you very much.